Please stand if you are able for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Announcements show. I'm your host, Gavin Grimes. Juniors, if you're not able to take the SAT on March 1st, there's another test opportunity on April 12th. Mrs. Cordova will reach out to students who did not complete it after spring break. Today is the last day to buy Eastergrams. Show Choir is selling them in front of the bookstore for $1 during both lunch mods. Eastergrams will then be delivered between April 3rd and April 5th during advisory. To order, please have the recipient's full name and the name of their advisory teacher. There will not be any school on Thursday, April 6th or Friday, April 7th due to Professional Development Day and the holiday weekend. A rummage sale is being hosted by East Choirs. The choirs will be accepting donations on Friday, March 31st from 5 to 8 p.m. at the T doors. Mattresses, box springs, or underwear will not be accepted. The sale takes place on April 1st from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Last Thursday, East Senior Isabella Saldivar held an event tied to her senior project. During the event, students paid $1 for a piece of tape that they used to tape Mr. Newell to a wall. She was able to raise $314 to go towards purchasing active shooter kits for BCSC student resource officers.
I've always been a little bit afraid of active shooters, everything coming because of mass shootings happening. So when I talked to CPD and they told me that they needed active shooter kits, I thought that'd be great to make our schools safer because I know that's been an upcoming topic these days.
It's something, unfortunately, we need to take in consideration in this day and age on that. And I think having that ability to save lives is powerful.
I feel like people knowing that there's something that can help them, I think that makes them a little safer, and that makes me go to bed feeling a little safer for them too.
Oliver Carr for this week's 3-day forecast.
Thanks, Gavin. Today, we've got some lovely weather. Mostly sunny with a high around 60. Tomorrow will be much the same, with weather remaining sunny. But on Friday, be prepared. A thunderstorm is on the way, so stay safe, O's. That's all for my 3-day forecast. Gavin, back to you.
The East Food Pantry is open today from 3 to 3:30 and is located behind the library. The food pantry is for anyone who needs it. If you need assistance or are unable to make it to the pantry, please message Mrs. Romansky, Mrs. Gratz, or Mrs. Owens, and they will help organize a plan that works for you. Remember, East, the food pantry is for you. Columbus East English teacher Mrs. Carroll won Teacher of the Year here at East. Teachers were nominated by students and selected by administration. Each school's nominee has the opportunity to apply for the District Teacher of the Year award. The district winner is able to win the Indiana Teacher of the Year award. On a similar note, criminal justice teacher Mr. Ward won the C4 Teacher of the Year, and Superintendent Dr. Jim Roberts was recently honored for his leadership and prowess in integrating technology to help students learn. He was named EmpowerEd Digital Superintendent of the Year. Now for the latest in East Athletics, we head over to sports.
Thanks, Gavin. For today, boys JV baseball is facing off with Center Grove High School, both away and at home. Also, men's varsity baseball faces Center Grove at 6 p.m. away. On Thursday, the boys JV baseball has another game at home against Austin High School, and our girls varsity softball faces off with Bloomington North at home. On Monday night, the boys volleyball team traveled to Heritage Christian High School to face the Eagles. They fell behind 2-0, but brought it all the way back to win in 5 sets. The volleyball team has a game against Madison tonight here at East at 6, so be sure to come out to all these upcoming games to support your fellow Olympians. Congratulations to Emma Gray and Chloe Kruger, who both signed for DePaul University to continue their academic and athletic careers. Congrats, O's. That's all in sports, Gavin. Back to you.
Now to Matthew Degner with this week's edition of the Matthew Minute.
Welcome to this week's edition of the Matthew Minute, where news topics are presented in a brief format. I'm your host, Matthew Degner, and we're starting off by yet again discussing Benjamin Netanyahu. After implementing his judicial branch changes, President Netanyahu faced mass protests, strikes, and international backlash, and as of Tuesday morning, has actually paused his plan. After several radical decisions, including firing his defense minister on Sunday night for opposing his plans, Netanyahu's approval rating had sunk to an all-time low. With murmurs of a civil war or political coup on the horizon, President Netanyahu has decided to take a step back and halt his changes. Since then, Israel has begun returning to a more peaceful state, including a huge drop in the number of protests, the largest labor union calling off their strikes, and global praise from world leaders, including the U.S. ambassador to Israel and President Biden himself. In U.S. news, 3 9-year-olds and 3 adults were killed in a school shooting on Monday. The shooter, a 28-year-old known by the police as Audrey Hale, but identifying on social media as Aiden Hale, was actively hunting random targets inside of the building for just short of 15 minutes before being shot and killed by 2 law enforcement officers. The attack was heavily premeditated, with maps of marked entrance points being found and are now being investigated by the police. The shooter had reportedly scouted another location for potential shooting, but deemed armed civilians and security posed too much of a threat to themselves. Updates on charges and investigations in future episodes. In state news, a Lafayette man who saved 5 children from a burning building in 2022 received the Carnegie Medal Monday, the highest civilian honor for heroism. Nicholas Bolstick, the 25-year-old pizza delivery man who was driving through a neighborhood when he saw a fire, then entered the building and found 4 children and led them outside. When he asked them about anyone left in the building, he learned of a 6-year-old still trapped in the flames. And after rushing back inside and finding the child in an upstairs bedroom, Mr. Bolstick was forced to jump from the 2nd story in a manner which avoided harming the child. Although he initially suffered major smoke inhalation and severe injuries to his right arm, Mr. Bolstick has made a huge recovery. The Carnegie Award is given annually and can be bestowed posthumously. This year, other winners include 4 others who entered the burning homes, a man who was shot and paralyzed from the waist down while attempting to save a store clerk from an armed assailant, and a father who saved his drowning toddler. Finally, in local news, the body of a North Vernon man was found underneath an overpass after a man walking to work had seen a figure in the water. By the time law enforcement had arrived, the deceased male had been pulled to the bank and was later identified as Wayne R. Gribbins, a 37-year-old. An autopsy has been scheduled and evidence collected from the scene. That wraps up this week's top stories. Thank you for joining me. Signing off, I'm Matthew Degner, and remember to stay informed.
That's all we have for today. From Oliver, Ben, Matthew, and the rest of the East Media, I'm Gavin Grimes. Thanks for watching. Remember to take care of yourself, others, and the place. And as always, try to be the best part of someone's day.